Hello everyone. I have both of my hands free for this video because I propped up some pillows and and I'm leaning my phone against them right now. That's my setup. I'll show you after I'm done talking. Alright, so to begin this video, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who commented on my previous video. This topic isn't really easy for me to talk about, but it's gotten a lot easier, if you know what I mean. So, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who's, really sent out their hearts to me in the comments on that video, because it means a lot. It does. And I want to thank you for that. There's a lot of heartwarming, literally heartwarming, by the way, because some of those heartwarming messages made my heart beat faster, which is kinetic energy, which is motion, which is heat, which is making my heart warmer. So, thanks for making my heart warm, guys. I really appreciate it. So, what I didn't talk about in my first video was a lot of the aftermath of what happened and immediately following the arrest. And if you haven't watched my first video, I recommend giving it a watch so you know the story up to this point. So I'll just jump right in. I put the gun down because my brother showed up, and then I let the police officers slowly, get closer to me as I, do the whole thing and get on the ground and everything. It was very peaceful after the fact. And they just put me in the back of a car and took me to the station. Obviously, that's, after a pat down, typical procedure. And then they send in the guy to ask you questions about what happened, and I complied without a lawyer present, which some would say is a very bad idea, and I would even say that's a very bad idea, but I wasn't thinking straight at the time. So, and they knew I wasn't thinking straight at the time either. They were forgiving of me for that. And I greatly appreciate all of the officers who were there for me that day. They weren't there against me. They were there for me, and they got me out. So I want to say thank you to the officers, too. Anyway, I go into jail, and I'm still not in a good headspace. And I'm still suicidal. And the only thing that's changed is that my level of freedom has gone substantially down. So I'm in jail, and I'm naked too, because they take your clothing if you're suicidal, because they think you can hurt yourself with it, which you can in some way. I don't know how, but they take your clothing and then you're naked in there for days, until they find a more permanent place to put you, otherwhere in the prison. It's not a prison, it's jail. I should say that. I should be specific, because it wasn't a prison, it was jail. I was in jail. I was in the introductory jails. When you just get into the jail, it's like a set of a dozen cells or so that are just like right in the door for people who just got in, and they're just, doing the paperwork and everything to get them through. And so I'm in there, naked, alone, suicidal, and I'm refusing food and water. Yep, I was suicidal to the point where I was going to die of either thirst or hunger. And I lasted about 72 hours without food or water. And then I decided to flood the toilet to my cell. After they gave me a modicum, barely a blanket. After they barely gave me a raggedy old blanket, I clogged the toilet with it and flooded the cell. And so the officers who work in the jail were like, what is going on? You're flooding your cell. And so they come in and they start beating me up. Literally, that's what happens. They tell me to turn around and face the wall. And so I literally turn around and face the wall. Oops, my light went out for a second there. Sorry. They start wailing on me, right?
Discuss this further too.
Half of my face is completely swollen up. My lips are swollen up. My eye is swollen tight. And they take me to the hospital because I'm just bleeding out of my face. And later on, the officers who did that to me got arrested themselves. So thank you for that, because that was a serious misuse of abuse of power. It was. And they got what came to them. So, but yeah, this story is very depressing, if you can't tell. I'm laughing because it's easier for me to tell about it now because I've told the story to other people, and getting it off your chest once, even once, is such a weight off your shoulders. It's like just making that video, this first video, it was such a weight off my mind and my heart just to have it out there, you know? Because otherwise, what am I gonna do? Just sit here and contemplate about it alone? When I could literally just tell the story and hopefully help people, right? So I'm in the hospital. I'm still refusing food and water, even from the hospital staff. And they know what happened to me as soon as I go in there, right? They're like, they almost knew immediately that it was the officers did something bad to me, even though they weren't there to see it happen. So they do a scan of my head to make sure nothing's broken, and nothing was, thankfully. But the pain didn't bother me at all because I was 80 hours dehydrated and hungry. So I was just numb. I didn't feel anything, bruh. Your punches should have hit harder. You're weak. Anyway, I won't say the officers' names that did it to me. I'm not gonna do it, but you can probably see who did it online if you're curious enough to look it up, but I wouldn't. They got what came to them. So, after I get out of the hospital, I go to the more permanent places in the jail where there's actual other inmates that you can talk to in the same room. It's a communal room with like 8 or so bunk beds, and you're all in this communal cell. And that's where they put the better behaved inmates. They give them like a chessboard, they give them access to iPads, they give them access to a television in the corner of the room, and it's actually not a bad setup. I didn't have that bad of a time in jail. I know that's gonna be alarming for some people, but, well, other than the fact that I was starving and dehydrated and beaten up, my time in jail wasn't that bad. So, I met some people, talked to them. We had Bible group. I had to borrow a Bible, but they were kind enough to, let me in. And even though I wasn't a believer, they still let me in, and we had good discussions about the Bible and whether God was a woman or not. That came up once. And we were just talking about everything we could. I told them my story, they told me theirs. And then my amazing lawyer that we got, my public defender, got me out. After a couple months in jail, I did spend Christmas and New Year's in jail, which is a bit of a bummer, but considering what I did, I can't complain. And we were making hooch, so we actually had a bit of something to drink for Christmas. It was nice. I mean, a couple days after Christmas, if you have any hooch, they will confiscate it, so be careful. But on Christmas, if you ask very nicely, they will let you openly drink hooch if you're nice and well behaved. And we were. So, it wasn't all that bad. I know it sounds bad, but it wasn't that bad to me. And, okay. Here's where the bad part starts and ends. I got COVID in jail. Yeah. The entire jail got COVID. Yeah. We were all coughing. We all got it at the same time too. The entire jail shut down. There were no visitations, and there was very limited access in and out of your cell. It was just very lockdowny. And it was some of the worst pain I've been in my life was COVID. Was just the muscles just were killing me. And ibuprofen for one pill was like $2 in jail. So I was like, no way, I'm riding this one out, you know? So I spent my money on getting some undergarments because they don't give you your clothing. They give you a shirt and a pair of pants, and that's it. So I had to buy underwear, I had to buy socks, I had to buy an undershirt because I was freezing, and my mother was kind enough to supply the money in order to get those things. And any good mother would, and my mom's the best, so of course she would, you know? Thanks, Mom. And there was a very nice lady from my mother's church as well, who donated a couple dollars to me, and I, spent it on some ramen packets. I, bought those clothing with it. I bought an extra pair of socks, just in case, an extra pair of underwear, just in case, and it was actually needed, because it can get a bit gross in there because it's all dudes, and there is a bit of organization in terms of using the bathroom and showering and everything, but you can't force anybody to do anything, so it can get a little stinky sometimes. But I didn't have that happen, so thankfully, at least it wasn't smelly. We had enough shampoo and conditioner to go around the room, so it actually wasn't that bad. And I keep saying that to myself because I'm about to cry, and I'm. So we spend Christmas and New Year's in jail, and we get COVID, and then the jail opens up, and then I finally get to see my family through the glass, you pick up the phone, and they pick up their phone, and you put your hand on the glass and everything. But my public defender got me out and put me on probation instead of getting me hard prison time, Thankfully, I'm at least free now, making videos, just trying to help people, So that's where I'm at. I've only got a couple months left on probation, and it's gone swimmingly. My officer's cool. The office where the officers work is cool. It's not a bad gig, you know? Just stay out of trouble, you know? But I wasn't thinking clearly. And now I am thinking a lot more clearly, and I can at least impart my story onto you and hope that it helps. And if there's a lesson that I would say that you should take away from this, that's a hard one, because there was a lot of lessons to be learned. But the most important one for me going through jail was family. Everyone was about family in jail. You know, on the iPads, you could FaceTime your family. And it would cost like a certain amount of cents per minute or something. But you could still, you know, be online with your family in jail. And this is new stuff. This is, you know, you see TikToks of inmates all the time now. And people say that, oh, they probably snuck a phone in. No, they're just using the communal iPads. So, what was my lesson for this video? Family. If you don't have family, friends. Get you some good friends. If you don't have any friends, I'm here. And I mean it. Send me a private message if you're down. I mean it. Like, I'm not going to tell you where I live, but we can talk, you know? I'm not going to release my address here, but if, you know, if you're down bad, I'm here. At the very least, whatever I can do, you know? So, take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your friends, and they'll take care of you too, if they're good people, you know? And you'll quickly find out which ones aren't and which ones are, as soon as you actually need the help, you know? And even though my father and I had that spat, he showed up for visitation, you know? He was still there. So I'd like to thank him for that, even though we're not on the best of terms right now. I just want to thank him for showing up, because not a lot of dads do that anymore. I said I wasn't gonna cry, but I got there anyway. Oh well. Anyway, this video's getting a little long, so I'm gonna show you my impressive setup here. Oh yeah, those pillows right there. Yeah, doing a real good job. Thanks. And my lighting is terrible, by the way. I'll get an actual light here eventually one day, and maybe these videos won't be so terrible to watch. So thanks for putting up with me. Thanks for sitting through this ordeal of a video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Intactivism rules. Oh, that sounded so lame, but that's okay. I like lame. Alright, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace and prosperity. Okay, that's all I got.